Hey, fourth grade. All right, happy Tuesday. We're starting lesson 5.2 today. Yesterday we talked about factors. Today we're talking about factors and divisibility. Divisibility is just a really fancy word that means that something can be divided by something else. Is something divisible able to be divided by another number? I highly suggest pausing this video, taking a picture of the screen, and saving this little divisibility rules kind of like cheat sheet box. It will help you a lot, not just in this chapter, but in future chapters as well. This is a quick little divisibilities rules little helper. So a number is divisible by 2 if the number is even. So if it ends in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, it's an even number. And you can divide 2 into it easily. And when I say divisible, I mean these numbers are not going to have remainders when you divide them by them, okay? A number can go evenly into a number or is divisible by a number or by 3 if you add their digits together and they equal 3. So for example, what I mean by that is, so the number, let's see, we'll do 63. If you add 6 and 3 together, you get what? 9. Can 3 go into 9 evenly? Yes, it can. So 63 would be divisible by 3. So when they say the sum of the digits, they mean you take both of the numbers in the number and add them together. A number is divisible by 5 if the last digit in the number is 5 or 0. It doesn't matter if it's 14,702,625. If it ends in a 5 or a 0, you can divide it by 5 evenly, okay? A number is divisible by 6 if it can be divided by both 2 and 3, okay? So for example, the number 42, it can be divided by 2 because it is an even number. It ends with a 2. And it can be divided by 3 because 4 plus 2 is 6, and 3 can go into 6 evenly. So 42 would be divisible by 2 and 3, which means it's divisible by 6. And then if a number is divisible by 9, the sum of the digits is divisible by 9 as well. So for example, let's say 72, 7 plus 2 equals 9. 9 can go into 9 one time. It would be divisible by 9, okay? All righty, so let's look at some of these numbers and see if they are factors of this or not. So is 5 a factor of the following numbers? And remember, 5 being a factor just means that you can multiply something by 5 to get this number, okay? So can I multiply something by 5 to get 27? No. Yeah, how do you know? Right, because 27 does not end in a 5 or a 0, so 27 does not have 5 as one of its factors. Okay, what about 30? Can 5 be multiplied by something to give us 30? Yeah, it sure can. 30 ends with a 5 or a 0, so 5 is a factor of 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. So 5 times 6 gives us 30, so it's a factor. What about 36? Is 5 a factor of 36? No, why not? Exactly, because 6 is not a 5 or a 0, which means that 5 will not go into it evenly. Will 5 go into it? Yes, but it'll have a remainder. We don't want remainders when we're talking about factors and divisibility, okay? This is going into something evenly. All righty, and what about 55? Is 5 a factor of 55? Yeah, it sure is. Why? Why does 5 work with 55? Exactly, because that last digit is 5 or 0. Very good. All right, let's look at this next one. What about 9? See if 9 is a factor of the following numbers. All right, let's look at 54. So remember, to see if something is divisible by 9 or if 9 is a factor of something, the sum of the digits has to be able to be divided by 9. So let's break these up. Let's do 5 plus 4. What is 5 plus 4, fourth grade? Good job. It is 9. So can 9 go into 9 evenly? Yes, it can. So that means that 9 is a factor of 54. Very good. Okay, what about 66? 6 plus 6 is going to give me what? Good, 12. Can 9 go into 12 evenly without a remainder? No, that's going to give us a remainder here. So that means that 9 is or is not a factor of 66. Very good, is not a factor. Good job. Okay, what about 63? If we add 6 plus 3 together, what does that give us? Good, gives us 9. Can 9 go into 9 evenly? It sure can. So that means that 9 is a factor of 63. Good job. What about 90? Let's see, let's check 90. We've got 9 plus 0, which gives us 9. Very good. Can 9 go into 9 evenly? It sure can, which means that 9 is a factor or is not a factor of 90. Very good, is a factor, so that's going to be a yes. Good job. Okay, like I said, please make sure that you pause this video, something, you take a screenshot, take a picture of it, save it to a device of some kind, phone, tablet, whichever, so that you can have it for you to help you with these lessons. Even if you have to pause it and write it down on a piece of paper, if you can't take a picture of it. Just something to have it with you to help you. All right, let's look at the last part of this. We're also going to be looking at listing factors and factor pairs in a table. So let's look at our factors of 24. So remember, when we start with factors, I always like to start with what number? Very good, I always like to start with 1. So 1 times what is going to give me 24? Good, 1 times 24 gives me 24. Okay, let's work on listing the factor here before we go over here. Okay, so what about, let's move on to 2. 2 times what gives me 24? 2 times what? Thinking caps. Very good, 12 is correct. So 2 times 12 equals 24. What about 3? Does 3 times anything equal 24? Yeah, it does. Very good. 3 times what? Someone shouted out at me. Good job. Exactly right. 3 times 8 is 24. What about 4? Does 4 times anything equal 24? Thinking caps, thinking caps. Remember, I said this chapter is going to be a whole lot of multiplication tables. So it's going to be very important that you keep practicing them and that you get them down packed. 4 times what? Very good. 4 times 6 gives me 24. Now, what we're going to do on over here on this side is we're going to list those factor pairs. So 1 and 24. So 1 and 24. What did I multiply together here? Very good. 2 and 12. And then here? 3 and 8. And then what about here? Very good. 4 and 6. And that's it. Kind of similar to yesterday, just a little bit different with looking at divisibility rules to see if things are factors of something before we just start writing them all out. That is it for today. As always, please make sure that you always go back into your folders on Schoology, no matter who your teacher is, and double check for any assignments that they may have assigned to you. You do not have any work tomorrow. Woo, woo. School's out. It's Veterans Day. You have no work. Even if you log on, you won't see a folder for it. Enjoy your day off tomorrow, and I will see you on Thursday for another lesson in Chapter 5. See you guys then.